I don't mean to cut you off. So is it true that if Trump implements a $500 billion tariff, it's going to increase the average American $1,700 per year? Yes,
it's not, because the tariffs are specifically targeted towards Chinese companies, specifically BYD. So what he said was, for example, I want to put 100% tariff on BYD, Build Your Dreams, which is a Chinese EV company. And what you see during the Biden administration, which is happening in real time, is they are actually looking to buy Chrysler and Dodge in order to circumvent it. And your administration that's here right now is letting it happen. They're bankrupting American companies right now so BYD can come in and buy that company.
I just want you to know that you can Google the $500 billion tariff that Trump wants to implement. It's going to cost the average American $1,700.
Listen, again, you can Google what you want, but Google is not a fact.
So what's the fact then?
The source by which you go through, it's an estimation of what it's going to cost. But I guarantee, I know this for a fact.
Oh,
no. Listen, this is what we know for a fact. We know for a fact that inflation for Americans is over 20% during the Biden administration's rule. So if you want to talk about facts, no. Listen. Come on. Again, we're talking about what you think. We know for a fact that motherfuckers couldn't go out and buy groceries and fill up their cart today. We know that jobs. Hold on.
Anton,
Cisco is laying off. Stellantis is laying off. Harley Davidson is laying off. Google is laying off. All of these Kellogg's is laying off. People don't have jobs today. They are.
Why is that,
bro?
Why is that?
Because the Biden administration did not make sure that they tamped down inflation. Oh, wait. So I'm wrong.
So Trump started inflation because Biden didn't stop it.
No, Trump focused on saving American jobs. That's what he did.
Every president has added on to the national debt.
Let me tell you what else he did. Let me tell you what else that was beautiful. Because a lot of people are misinformed when it comes to the tax cut. What else he did was he ensured the tax cut, and the purpose of that was to force American companies. Listen, you can smile all you want. I like your teeth. It's beautiful. But it don't matter. You're getting washed right now.
Yeah,
what he did was he instituted tax cuts in order to ensure American companies brought foreign profits back over here at a lower tax rate instead of keeping them overseas where they then leverage. You muted, big dog.
We can't hear you, CJ. Leave and come back. Because once you take off your iPods,
that's because God is working. Listen, these people are sitting here, and it's so funny. These people are sitting here arguing against Trump instead of arguing for their candidate. That's how you know that we fucked up. That's how you know that all they doing is leaning on identity politics. This country is worse off than 3.5 years ago, and they will still vote for their own fucked up interests that ain't even got no interest because they can't cite one policy that they love Kamala Harris for.
So as I just stated, you literally just told us the reason we have inflation is because of the tariffs that Trump implemented when he was in office.
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you just said. That's exactly what you just said.
That's not what I said.
I'm glad we got playback.
You can go with playback. But again, help me to understand.
You just told us the reason we have inflation is because of the tariffs that Trump implemented.
I'm going to spend time tonight watching you and him at the same time.
No, you're not. You're wrong.
DJ, we've always had inflation.
Help me to understand. No. Listen. Help me to understand why your candidate deserves to be the president of the United States of America.
Because I don't want an old ass dude in the office. That's number one. Number two. Hold on. Number two, I like what they're doing for veterans. Number three, I don't like his police policy. I don't like his stop and search policy.
What is his police policy?
Hey, you're not going to just stop and search anybody. Number four, I don't like that he wants to weaponize the Department of Defense. We're not going to do that.
No, listen.
Hold on. You asked me a question.
You're not answering the question. You're not answering the question.
You asked me a question, so I'm going to answer.
No, listen. You can go off script, but I need you to answer my question.
I'm answering your question. I need you to listen.
No, what is it?
I need you to listen. I need you to listen. You asked me a question, so I'm going to answer.
Listen. What do you like about Kamala Harris's policies that you would cause to, not what you don't like about Trump? It's a very specific question.
I like what she's going to do for veterans.
No, listen. Because I want to make sure you hear me clearly.
I heard you the first time.
What do you like about Kamala Harris's policies that would cause you to vote for?
So number one, she wants to cap the rent. I think that's a great policy. Number two,
the United States of America has no control over what it is that you can pay in rent.
So you want me to ask, or you gonna keep talking?
Oh, sorry, you're right. I want to let you put your foot in your mouth. Go ahead.
Number two, I like what they're doing for veterans. Me as a veteran, I like what they're doing for veterans. The other dude, he don't give a damn about veterans. Those two things right there are good enough for me. I land.
You also want the
Hold on.
Audience.
Audience.
Man.
I'm gonna let you rock, big dog.
How are you the only one?
I'm gonna let you rock.
I'm gonna let you rock. You've been talking the whole time.
I'm gonna let you rock because again,
we good.
I know that y'all need help with each other.
I'm emotional.
We don't. I don't want to listen to an all white dude in office. He don't even know where he's at right now.
Oh, you talk. You spoke. You said you landed. You said
I landed. You're right.
Okay, so you landed. Take that plane and throw it off the fucking runway.
It ain't gonna work. It ain't.
Audience. Do you hear this bullshit that they telling y'all?
Don't talk to the audience. Talk to us.
No. I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to my audience.
Well, I'm talking to you.
Cool. What you said you landed and your plane
like,
is off.
What are you talking about?
Your plane is off. Listen, don't
you vote for an old white dude who don't even know where he's at right now.
The whole
you vote for a dude that cares about
Biden.
You challenging all of us to tell you what we like about
that's what we voting for.
But you're
I'm gonna
not
get to you. Hey,
white guy.
You're not accepting the fact that we don't have to tell you what we like about her. We're telling
you. Can you give me a second?
We don't like him, and if you don't like that, that's your problem.
What are we talking about?
There's a whole audience here. We're not here to entertain you, bro. So it don't matter if I don't tell you what I like about Kamala. I don't like Trump. Period. That's all you need to get. If that's what.
Shut up.
Dog. Hold on. Give me a second.
Nah, I'm trolling. Go ahead, Anton. Go ahead, bro.
No. The only reason these people is here is for me.
They don't know Anton. They don't know it's your panel.
Go ahead, bro.
You don't realize who you talking to?
I mean, they don't know it's your panel. They don't know. They're not on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't
all right. Well, we don't listen.
This is Anton's channel, but my
no. Q. Don't explain it to them. I want them to stay in their energy.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, don't tell me to go ahead now.
Oh shit, I can keep going.
Listen.
I mean, since we're talking about planes, we listened to an old white dude that made up that helicopter.
No. He said
the dude came up and said he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Since we're talking about planes,
he said that they not here for me, bro.
Oh, I didn't say I don't know where that came from, but go ahead.
Anton, they are not on YouTube.
That's fine. That's fine. They're not here for Anton. They're not.
We give it
grace for you, Victor. Keep going.
Question. Okay.
We giving grace today.
Let's ask the same question that he asked CJ to Victor and Jamisha. Jamisha, you talk first. What are the reasons you're backing Kamala? What policies do you agree with?
So, my first thought process is I would want to make sure that I have an understanding, or obviously I'm new to this and on this platform, but in reading in the audience, but I do want to have an understanding that the administration signs in the bills and they do specific executive orders in regards to policies and laws, but the people that have these conversations and do the work is Congress. So I understand that we like to say Kamala and Biden and Trump, but I don't view it as that. So I just want to put that out there. I go based on the Congress and people that do that type of work. But one reason that I would support and vote for Kamala outside of the policy when I get to it is Trump is stating that he wants to be a dictator. So I don't want a form of government where one person is just running the country or wanting to get rid of the Constitution, which the country was founded on. So, I mean, that is a big reason why I would want to make sure that I'm voting for the other candidate, because I don't want that to happen to democracy, because I live and work within the democracy as being an elected official. But outside of that, I respect the fact of her encouragement or platform of having diversity and equal representation, meaning we need to get more Black and brown people elected to office. I care about the fact of her health care, because Black women die at a high rate when it comes to medical services. I also want women's rights. I shouldn't have to sit here and fight for my rights or my daughter's rights to be able to, if they choose to have an abortion, if something's wrong with the child. These are just little things. The Voters Act, those are things that I feel I want to see replicated in our country, and that's not what the other side has on their platform.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane. She started off her narrative about what it is that she didn't like about Trump again. And usually what I've come to conclude is that most people do that because she doesn't have policy. Even the talking points that dictator, even the talking points that she has are general. They're not even real policy. Okay, so number one, Trump never said that he wanted to remove abortion in general. And I'm not even an abortion supporter, right? What he said was it should go back into the states. The states specifically should be the ones to determine what happens on an individual state level, and it should not be in the hands of the federal government in the first place, okay? So that's number one. So all of this fear mongering when it comes to that whole women's rights things, that's trash. Number two, we got the same old talking points when it came to Obama, when it came to the people that's happening on a local level in all of these cities. This diversity, equity, and inclusion shit gotta die. It gotta die. So look, I want the best person for the job.
States to regulate abortion. That means if you're not in a state that is for allowing someone to have a right to exercise in their body, then you're fucked up. So correct. I want it to be federal because then there is overseer on these rights. I'm not going to be hopping and jumping from each state that is aligning with what I believe in just because we want to give states certain rights. The Constitution created rights for the states, but we have a federal government that needs to oversee states. So it's not adding up because you're going to move to a state if they heavy on policing, right, and they giving police immunity over in Texas.
Hold on, don't skip around. Let's stay on this abortion. Let's stay on this abortion thing.
To North Carolina and state of North Carolina and not be in Texas because we give so much governance over the state. No, I don't agree with that.
Well, listen, here's the beautiful thing. The first thing that y'all can do is close your legs.
Anton, slow down the chat.
No, I'm not slowing down the chat. The first thing that women can do, because y'all so concerned with the government playing a role in what it is that you got going on as far as whether or not you can have a child or not, is close your legs and marry before you carry.
So do you automatically assume that a woman gets an abortion because she doesn't want to have the baby? Or what about if the baby has a disability inside? My daughter was born.
There are exceptions that both sides, agree on.
But they don't agree.
Rape, incest, disabilities. That is not even a
So I'm saying, like, I hear you, but you have to speak the facts on what the other side said.
I am speaking the facts.
Blanket abortion, don't care if you slept with your cousin or if you were hard.
I just literally said rape, incest, disabilities, and late-term carrying. These are things that they agree with on both sides. Maybe not the late-term carrying
levels. Look up Mark Robinson.
Listen. From Trump's perspective and from Kamala's perspective, on both sides, they don't disagree with those three talking points: rape, incest, and late-term carrying, especially when it comes to disabilities. Okay,
they do on state levels. There are state governors or people that's running. Mark Robinson for the state of North Carolina is currently trying to run for the governor, and he wants to do a blanket across the state of North Carolina. No abortion.
Then that means that the voters on a local level then should be able to determine whether or not they want him as their governor. Because the local election is if not more important than who it is that you have on a national level. But the fact of the matter is, keep your legs closed. That's number one. And because y'all arguing on something that you can control. I never in my life ever had to worry about anything that was child related, especially when it comes to abortion, because I was very definitive of whether or not I was going to have a child. And there's literally over 100 different forms of contraception to prevent you from putting yourself in that position in the first place. So that's number one. And that's not something I'm ever going to let It's not something that I'm ever going to let a politician play on my emotions for, as far as what's best for my family.
So now
That's
you're
number
telling
one.
me that
Number two, you keep on trying to skip past. You keep trying to skip past what you said. You keep trying to skip past what you said as far as this identity politics bullshit and this diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so basically, what you basically telling me is that you want to vote somebody in based off of racism and prejudice and bias, because you don't want, you're not looking at who's best for the job. You're looking at, and the first thing that you said was, this is what I don't like about Trump. And then you tried to qualify it by a bunch of general talking points, especially when it comes to the diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Those ain't general.
We off that bullshit.
We need diversity.
We all for the politics.
You have 62 people currently in the Congress that are black, but only 80% of them are Democrats. Okay, and I don't think the party line. I'm independent. That does matter because equal.
You're not independent. You're not independent. Stop.
More people that look like us because they understand our issues in our community.
They don't. You know how I know that? You know how I know that for a fact?
I'm an elected official and a civilian. So
the blackest cities in the United States of America are the ones that black people ran into the fucking ground. Tell that to Tiffany Henyard over there in Dalton. Tell that to Brandon Johnson over in Chicago, what he doing to his city. Tell that to Karen Bass of what it is that they doing over there in LA. Talk to London Breed to what they doing over there in San Francisco. Talk to Detroit, Michigan, and we was the biggest city to file for bankruptcy, and all we had was black leaders. I don't give a fuck about no identity politics. I care about what's best for my family.
That's a different process. You understand?
No, it's not.
Conversation. You need to get people in office that represent you, but you also need to hold these elected officials to the fire when you get them in office. So voting is not the first stop.
Go over there to Dalton, Illinois, and tell me that they're not trying to hold her to the fire, but she's still running the city into the ground.
So
they operating at a $6.5 million deficit. Brandon Johnson just got into office 8 months ago, and he's already running the city into a deficit, and they've given over $400 million to migrants, illegal migrants into this country.
They do a good job on picking the correct candidate. You assume that I said because we need diversity.
The best candidate wasn't even black.
Just picking anybody off the street.
They picked him based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Have a good candidate, but I prefer them to look like me.
So what makes Kamala Harris a good candidate? Because you haven't said anything.
I just told you the policies that I support. Just because they don't align with your viewpoint doesn't mean that they're not valid.
The only policy that you stated, which isn't even a policy because she doesn't have an official policy for it.
You're right. So you're answering your own question.
Talking point.
Thought process won't come out until after the DNC. And again, the president, they can only encourage these conversations. Congress is the one that makes laws and policies.
You're telling me that Trump's proposed policies wasn't
Trump
already
been
available?
In office, so he's running off.
Every single candidate that operated in the primary had policies on their websites. Even back in 2019,
he's been running for 3.5 years.
Andrew Yang was running for president of the United States of America. When Andrew
Trump
Yang
has been running since 2020. What are you talking about?
They have to have policies to talk
even when Andrew Yang was running in 2019
as the VP.
When Andrew Yang was running in 2019.
Of the current administration, not until it's truly official when we go to the DNC where she start changing her stump speech, because when you hear it now, it's on the work that she's done and she's doing.
What work has she done?
Oh my God.
What work has she done? No, what work has she done? Outside of locking people up.
I just explained. Okay, so you would do it. What's his name? DL Hughley. So you go off snippets and run with that.
There's literally black people over in San Francisco.
Only 45 was locked up, and how many of them were black?